hope you're doing well. Welcome to My Friends Love podcast, and I am your host, Virginia Njuguna. Karibuni sana to yet another episode. A happy new month to every single one of you. Happy birthday to all the June babies in advance. Hata kama yako ni huko date ya mwisho. Karibuni sana to this episode, and it being the first week of the month, we're going to start with a testimony. Yes, we'll just start. Tunaanza tu rhythm na testimony, and this testimony is in form of a dream that I've ever had. Si kitambo, just this year, and it was God communicating something to me, and sikuwa nimeielewa, but now after, it's when I'm like, whoa, kumbe this is what God was really meaning. And I would love to share it with you. I have ever shared before that God talks to me through dreams, and I'm grateful because God talks to us in different ways. God talks to us through the word, of course. Even when I dream, I also go to the word and get to understand more. And there are those who God talks to them in different ways. There are those who I was just having a conversation early here, and our cameraman told us that God talks to him through music and the word. And also it's different. God talks to us in different ways, but above all, we have to redirect everything that we hear or dream or visions that we see. We refer them with the word of God. Hiyo ndio standard. Let me just use that name, standard. So yeah, I'll start with a testimony again. Actually, let me say two testimonies, because the first testimony is I have been dreaming dreams, yes, but I think nilikuwa the bad omen kind of a dreamer, because every time I was dreaming zilikuwa bad dreams. They were very bad dreams, but right now, at least God ameanza kunionyesha. Now I have good dreams, as in dreams za happiness, because the other ones were scary and bad. And now the second testimony is now the dream itself. I'd love to share details of how it was. So I was living in Coast before I came back to Nairobi, and this dream I had it when I was in Coast, and it was a sign for me, I think, to come back home or something. Anyway, so in the dream, I was in a venye tu wase wishi kwa ploti. Let me just say ploti. And where I was just living, and I had neighbors that were, I couldn't talk to all the neighbors because wengine hatukuwa tunapatana because of their work schedule. Wengine wanakuja usiku, you see. So there are many we couldn't talk. But there's this constant neighbor I had. So in the dream, I was in the house preparing myself kutoka ndo niende. I don't know where I was going in the dream. And I was late. I was running late, but I was like, you know what? Wacha nichelewe kidogo because I'll have time to see my brother. So in the dream, I live in the same plot, same area with my brother. But the thing is, hatupatanangi sana kwa sababu yeye kuja home late. And I was like, you know what? Let me run late, but at least I'll say hi to my brother. So when I was waiting, nikaanza kusikia kitu chini ya kiti. Now this is entirely in the dream. Ndio nasikia kitu chini ya kiti natoa sauti. Nikatoa kiti because ilikuwa na makelele. So nikasongesha kiti nione nini inaendelea. And to my surprise, I got to see I can't remember the figure of the animal because I've never seen it. It was either small puppies, tudogo to a doggy, or tudogo to a paka. I can't really remember what they were, and there were like 3 of them. So I was like, in my mind, I'm like, ooh, hizi ni za neighbor yangu. The lady now told you we were encountering sana. So I was like, nilikuwa nazitoa nje pole so that I call my neighbor, nimwambie achukue wanyama wake. And nikizifukuza nje, okay, sikuwa nazifukuza. I was just nazitoa pole so that my neighbor comes and takes them. The moment zilifika nje, they turned into a very big animal. Now this animal, again, I have never seen. It looks like a lizard, it looks like a chameleon, but it's very big. Big than me, like kubwa hata kuliko binadamu. So it wanted to eat me. it turned and it wanted to eat me. Now when that woman came and saw that animal, she could come and anasimama mbele yangu so that isinikujie, because I think she had a way of relating with it, because when the moment that animal could see her, haikuwa inamkujia, but the moment it sees me, it wants to come and eat me fully. So it was so scared, and I was like, what kind of, even for her, she was like, what kind of animal is this? We have never seen this kind of an animal. So she was like, mimi nitakusaidia ujifiche uingie kwa nyumba, we lock the door so that hii mnyama iende. So in the process of running ndo niingie kwa nyumba, I saw my brother. You remember I was running late so that I see him. So nikamwona amekuja, he's entering in the, alikuwa ananua nguo zake. I can't really remember how that part was. And I was like, this is nice. As my cousin anafukuza hiyo kitu iende, I'll just come say hi to my brother and then go home. On to my surprise, the moment I entered into the house, the thing followed me. And when it entered into the house, it came as a very, very beautiful woman. Again, a woman I have never seen. And she's so pretty. Like, I can't even remember how she looks like in the dream. And the moment she entered, she's pretty, but aliingia na makasiriko. Ako zile za, madam, when you're my assignment, mbona ukufi? I've been like, wewe nafaa kunisha kumaliza. Why are you still alive? I was wondering, huyu madam anasema nini? So I asked her, what do you mean? She started now making sarcastic laughters, telling me, haujaijua, I am on a mission, and this mission is nikukumaliza, haufai kuwa na exist. So I was like, so mi nikingoja, and we continue further with the conversation, because at first sikuwa nimemwelewa. Then all of a sudden now I got to know what she's saying, and I started praying in my heart, not ati with my mouth. I started praying and asking God, rebuking it, actually, because it's fear, I'm afraid. I started rebuking what she's saying, everything she's talking about. And then she starts making laughters, and then let me tell you one thing. I don't know whether she took her phone, but she had a conversation on a call. I don't remember how the phone was looking like, but I think alitoa kwa mfuko and she dialed. I can't even remember her dialing, but I remember her talking with someone, and I could hear the voice of ule mse anaongea na yeye, and this time it is her boss. So I was so keen listening to that conversation, and mimi nilijua she's talking to the devil, and I could hear his voice. I know it's weird. It's very weird, but I could hear his voice, and I could hear him telling her, mbona muendea senye ako na nguvu, mumtafute senye she's not, make her not to read the word, make her not to pray. And now akarudia, but this time akasema, make them not to read the word, make them not to pray, because I want to bring the spirit of lust and I have to kill them. Sasa umemwendea senye she can't, it's not negotiable at this time. And I don't know what happened, because I was so scared. I'm shocked. I'm hearing a voice, and this voice in the dream, I was sure this is the devil's voice, and it really shook me. So mimi nikaamka, and the first person whenever I dream, the people I share with the dream first before anything else. So I shared it with them, we prayed, but we didn't get to know the meaning of the dream. And that was the same period I was going through so much. I'll talk about that one day. It was actually, I had come from a praying season. I was having a prayer, 3 days prayer and fasting, and it was, I think, a day after. It's when I had that dream. After nimemaliza the fasting, it's when now the dream happened. And I was, at the same time, I was in a period of so low because of circumstances of life, how I had already started a new life. Things were not working out. I was so hopeless. So I was wondering what that dream meant. Then from nowhere, that same dream, there was a movie that was premiering. I was part of the team, and I had to come to Nairobi so that the movie premieres during the Kalasha Film Awards week. So when I came, I was so happy, but I felt so alive, and I forgot the dream. I felt so alive. So the day that Kalasha week was ending, I texted now my neighbor. Now this neighbor of mine is the husband to the lady I dreamt with. So I texted him and asked him, because he's the person, him and his family are the people I could talk to whenever kama maybe niko na shida, the people we could interact with, because like the family, we had made a rapport. And I texted him and asked him and say, how is my house? I've been away, I hope everything is safe and stuff. And he didn't reply. Hiyo kitu ikanishangaza sana. Then that night he replied and he told me his son is dead. That's why ako kwa pilka za kushughulika, because it was an all of a sudden death. I was so shocked knowing that in the dream, okay, there are many things I know right now I could relate immediately, because the child was called exactly my brother's name, my brother mwenye niliota na yeye. So, and the woman alikuwa ananikinga ndio nisikuliwe na hiyo stuff. And after praying, and after right now, it's way like a month or 2 months later, it's when I understand that, of course, yes, the devil is always on a mission, and he's targeting people. He knows what will kill you. He knows what will take you. And the moment I heard that child died, I remember I was praying, and a voice, this time I was like, that was supposed to be me dying. That was like for me to die, because I remember that I was in a period of death, like not physical death, I was emotionally dying. I was psychologically nilikuwa nakufa because of what I was going through. And then at the same time, a friend of mine called and she told me, Virginia, I've dreamt you're dead. And I was like, hi, and yeah, that's something we should really pray about. And we prayed about it. This friend hatuongeangi sana, and then ali have kutafuta namba yangu, so that she gets to me and tells me, by the way, Virginia, I had a dream that you're dead. And I'm saying this dream as a testimony, because the mission of the devil was for me to die. There are so many details in between about how life was in the first 3 months of this year, but the message is I was supposed to die. Like I was emotionally dead, and I was now going to be physically dying. But God was like, no, it's not yet your time. I felt so bad for the family because they lost their child. I didn't understand. And you know why I relate this? Because there's a time I was listening to a sermon by Mr. T, and he was saying when they were planting the church they are planting, because they went to pray, and he saw on a vision an animal, and the description he gave, well, I don't want to relate as though they're the same, but I got to understand there are marine spirits, there are things that exist. But one thing I've come to learn, no matter what the devil plans for you, no matter ile deni alikuwa amekuwekea, God si ya God ndio final say. So I am grateful that I am alive, and I will live to proclaim the goodness of God. I was supposed to die, guys. Mngenisahau hivyo. Well, it's life, but I am grateful that I am alive, and every single day I'll keep testifying with this friend of mine, because right now he's more closer than he was. The relationship is more closer. Yes, things are not the way I really want them to be, but he's giving me patience. He's telling me, you know what, I have you, don't worry, I have you. And that is my testimony. I know we all have testimonies. There's a word in the Bible that tells us that we should really it's about they overcame him by the blood of Christ and through their testimonies, their words of testimony. So you sharing your testimony with someone else is encouraging them and bringing them more closer to Christ, because there are many people who are supposed to die because of circumstances, but God amewasave. So we share this so that to grow pamoja and know that we're together in this for the glory and honor of God. So yeah, that's my testimony. See you on our next episode, guys. Bye.